Alright, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be bringing you tips to help you improve your CAS capabilities. If you saw my last video, honestly, the next logical step would be 10 tips for air, but I don't play air or B that much. I do to spade out some planes that I like, but for the most part, I play ground. I'm a ground player. But I do play a lot of CAS, and I love CAS. Just because I play CAS doesn't mean I don't know how to dogfight. I've learned it from ARB, to be honest. But this is to help out the stigma behind freaking CAS players being dumb. And like I said in my last video, I kind of do agree. This is for them. So whether you're a beginner, whether you are trying to get better at the game, or you just not having luck with your bombs and you want to see what's up, I'm gonna give you some of my general tips to help you out. We're gonna be going over a lot, okay? I will go on a tangent, but most of the tips that I'm gonna see as soon as I switch to CAS, you're gonna see like what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna give you a tip and I'm gonna talk about it, and we're gonna go from there, okay? So for tip number one, you gotta understand what kind of class of plane you're taking into the game. Whether it be a fighter, whether it be a strike aircraft, whether it be a bomber, you gotta figure out what that is and what role you want to play in CAS. Whether you want to run CAS, with bombs, or if you want to run anti-CAS and just dogfight, you gotta pick out what is good for you. Fighters, obviously, fighters are good for taking on other aircraft, but there is a class called fighter bombers, which do have like some bombs and they have like ground pound capabilities. You have strike aircraft. Your strike aircraft are just good all around. They're not good all around. They're good for ground. Like, if you ever wanted like a CAS vehicle, dedicated CAS vehicle, it'd be like a strike aircraft. They have the firepower to deal with some tanks. They have bombs. They have like rockets. You name it. Usually they'd be your go-to if you have air superiority, but we'll get to that later. Then you have another class called bombers, and you have different subcategories here. You got light bombers, you got dive bombers, you got frontline bombers, you got strategic bombers and tactical bombers. They're all different, but the play style is different too on how you approach them. Like dive bombers, they're more nimble than your bigger bombers, but they're still kind of slow. And for you to get like accurate with them, you have to like go on a dive. We'll talk about that stuff later, but yeah, understanding what kind of class you're bringing in will help you understand the amount of spawn points you need to get before you come in CAS. And that's another thing too. Each plane, each class has a different type of spawn point to come in. So let's say for like a base plane, like no armaments, no default belt, it should be like 450. If you have like some sort of payload, some sort of bombs, it'll up it between 20, not 20, like 30 or 70, the highest I've seen it. If you spawn in a strike aircraft, once again, it depends on the loadout you bring in. It can up it up as well. So be wary of that. Oftentimes you're going to see fighters because it's just easier to spawn in a fighter, get capture a point, get a spot, get a kill, and spawn in the air. That's what a lot of people don't like, but I mean, given the firepower and honestly given how dense some CAS players are, like this guy that I was looking up at, that dude's been giving us hell the whole match. I'm not even joking. He's the first guy. I think he's the first guy I killed. He's been giving us hell the whole time. He's a good like pilot. I'm not gonna lie. Like for real, he's been like just wrecking stuff. Anyways, yeah, understanding what you're gonna take for a plane, and I touched up on it a little bit right now. The loadout you're gonna take too will affect what you have to do to spawn in. So just keep that in mind. Tip number two is just understand the kind of loadout you want to take. Let's say you want a bomb, but you're not good at bomb, try and taking like the biggest like mass bomb you have, and go and drop it. Don't forget to set your fuses and stuff. Obviously, it depends on the weight of the bomb. Like if it's like a 1,000 pound bomb, at like a second or like 1.5 second fuse time, stuff like that. Just keep that in mind. The loadout will also affect your Like I said, your spawn, like the spawn points you need to come in. Going on to tip number 3, because I kind of touched up on both of them right now. Understand the MG build you want to take. So a lot of people don't know this, except like the veteran players, or something they pick up super late. But if you're a beginner player, you're trying to be better, you're trying to get better at CAS. Understand the belts, because you have default belt. A lot of people just select the ground belt and think they're gonna penetrate everything. That's not how it's gonna go. It can if you have a certain caliber, or if you get high enough and the vehicles start getting lighter again, then you can do something. But if you're like in the middle, like World War II era vehicles, Cold War era vehicles, they're gonna be getting tough to penetrate. And what you're gonna want to do is pick a belt that is suitable to your needs, to what you want to look right for. For me, every time I get up in the air, I'm always looking for SPAA. I'm always looking for like open top vehicles, light vehicles, or like really like thin skinned vehicles. Because whether I have 20 millimeters or I have 50 cals, especially open tops, easy targets. If you look at your ammo belt, your machine gun belt, my bad. For us, if you move the cursor over the belt and you hold X, you can see on the top card, because it gives you like a little animation, right? And for those of you who don't know, you can do that. If you hold X on the type of ammunition you want to take, and this goes for ground too, it'll show you what the bullet or the shell does, you know, the effect of it. And the thing with machine gun belts too is it will show you the order in which the bullets are placed. So let's say like you select the default belt, you have 8 bullets, and let's say in those 8 bullets you have 2 armor piercing incendiaries, 2 armor piercings, 2 high explosive impacts, 2 incendiary ones. Then that's gonna be the order. Like every 8 bullets is every 8 shots is gonna cycle those rounds. So just keep that in mind, you know. Sometimes a default belt is better than like a certain belt, or like ground too. Like if you can, sometimes what you'll see too. Sorry, I'm trying to like organize what I'm trying to say. If you look at the ground belt, right? Oftentimes it'll be good for penetrating vehicles, but those are going to be good for like armored cars, open tops, light vehicles, SPAA. If you want to start strafing like machine guns and stuff, machine guns. If you want to start strafing like like heavier targets like medium tanks, you have to learn exactly where you need to aim with that. And knowledge is really like king in this game. If you know like what tank you're looking at, you know what to hit, you know where to hit. Especially if you can just like gun them down, you're gonna be getting a lot more kills. And sometimes a different belt is better. Like honestly, like I was playing a couple months ago with my ITP on my Russians, and I usually run the armored targets belt on my 37mm, but like I switched it over to the air targets. I was having a lot more success knocking out vehicles like open tops with that thing, and A guns too. Like I was like 1 or 2 shotting them, to be honest. So definitely mess around with them. Understand what each one does. The default is just your default belt. You have universal. You have stealth. Stealth basically is you won't see any tracers. There are some armor piercing bullets in there. There's almost always armor piercing on that, but there's no tracers. And the point is, like, let's say if you're taking a head on, the enemy won't know you're shooting at them unless they see tracers, you know. Or even in the ground, like you can just be going at them and you'll be shooting like miles away and they won't even notice. It's to make it seem like you're not even firing, you know. And well, you have your armored targets belt. You have your good. Did I hit a bomb? I don't understand that. I guess someone bombed me or something. That's weird. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, keep the belt in mind, because that'll go a long way. And that also applies for ARB. If you're gonna be like fighting in the air, take like something that'll help you knock out targets faster in the air. But moving on. So if you're having trouble with bombings, like dropping bombs and stuff, you can go to the test flight and practice your angle of attack. You have different ways of dropping bombs, my bad. You can do your typical dive bomb, which is kind of what a lot of people do. You can bomb toss, which takes more skill, but you can do it. And there's, I forget what this one is called, but you like fly basically low to the ground, and you like slam it against a building or like slap it against a tank as you release it, and you just leave it right there. It's not a dive bomb. It's there's the word for it. I don't know what it is. But practice your angles of attacks. The test flight got revamped, and it's been so good. You can practice your bombing runs. You can practice your strafes. You can practice what you can strafe, what you can't strafe. You just all sorts of stuff to do. So I know I've said this in my last video too, but make use of the test flight and the test drives. And if you're having problems with bombs, honestly, start with like the biggest payload you have and work your way down. And we'll focus on getting more accurate. And even with bombs, if you want like easy kills, like I said, just look for light vehicles, open tops, AA guns, guaranteed kill. That way you can secure your extra spawn or two, you know. Tip number 5 is learn, like I said, we'll learn what you can strafe. And we talked about the machine gun belt and stuff, but this is very important. Understanding what you can strafe will help you secure more kills. It'll help you, and it'll help your team out in the long run, you know. If you're flying around and you can free look, I can't do it on the PlayStation. I think the PC can do it. But if you're looking around, you can kind of zoom in and see what's up, see what it is before you go down and engage. And if you have bombs, you can be like, okay, you know what? Let's say like me, right? What I used to do like a long time ago when I was just starting the game, I would, let's say, spawn in my Mustang, right? I would carry my 2,000-pound bombs, and I'd literally go hunt Tiger 2s, because back then Tiger 2s were like a huge threat to me. So if they're a threat to me, they'd be a threat to the team, so I'd go knock them out first, always. And it wouldn't just be me, it'd just be me and my brother, you know. We'd be hunting Tiger 2s, and we'd be dogfighting and stuff. But that leads me into my next tip. Tip number 6. Don't ignore enemy air. If you are in the air, and you drop your bombs, and you have nothing to do, look around. There's almost always a blueberry in trouble being chased by another enemy CAS. Help them out. Don't just leave them there to dry. If you have nothing else to do, you're in a fighter, go CAS. If you're in a strike aircraft, even if it's a little bit, help out. See what you can do to help out, because the more people that are in the air, the more effective it'll be. You never know. It could be like a high skilled player, like who's just in a bad dogfight, and they're lined up for you perfectly for you to just kill them, you know, right? So don't ignore the enemy air. Help your teammates out, especially if they're losing a dogfight. Oftentimes, what's happened to me, and I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here. I'll go to help out a blueberry. As soon as I get them off their tail, they run back to base and they leave me there to dry, and I'm kind of like, bro. And oftentimes, what happens with me is I'll freaking end up chasing a Japanese plane. They'll outturn me, and I look to see where my blueberries at, see if he can help me out, because he looks like he can still fly, and he's gone. And or what'll happen too is I'll help a blueberry like get free, and he'll start ground pounding and just ignore the air. Don't be that person. I get it. If you don't understand how to dogfight or fly, learn. I'd rather you go out dying like trying to dogfight and help me out, or I'd be okay like dying if like my teammates help me. But like overall, don't ignore the enemy air, because like in the last match you saw, I didn't post the rest of it because like I was just like wanting to show off the CAS area, the CAS perspective. That dude in the air that I told you was a threat, the ME-262, was destroying the whole team easily. I didn't show it, but like I spawned another plane and I just rammed into him, and he spawned on another plane, another one, and he was just like breaking stuff, you know. Another thing. Even if you're also like, if your team is getting bombed, and I said this last time on my other video, if you're aware that your team is like just losing because of the planes, get on an SPAA. You're ignoring, like, people ignoring the air, even if like there's no CAS, it's just gonna speed up the process of you losing, especially like if y'all win a game, like if y'all are winning a game. Don't ignore it. Leaving air unchecked is not good. Especially here right now in this match, what you're seeing is we have like a steady flow of CAS, and they're like wrecking shop, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say about that. Um, tip number 8: learn when to go up. So if you're on the ground and you obviously see all the planes around you, right? If the enemy has like 5-6 planes, don't go up yet. Or if you die immediately and you have enough to spawn CAS, don't do it yet, because everyone's gonna spawn in CAS like right away. What you want to do is just wait for your team to have control of the skies, then you come in and drop your bombs, and then like align yourself to get ready for a dogfight or something, you know. The whole point of CAS is maintaining air superiority and providing cover for your team and knocking out targets when you can, where you can. A lot of people complain that it's like OP and it needs to get nerfed or it needs to not be in the game. I personally disagree, because obviously, and I'm laughing at this right now. Um, the balance to CAS are the players itself. If you go into like a random match, right? You look around, you see like enemy CAS, watch the kill feed. They're all gonna kill themselves. You know? Tip number 9 too, and we touched up on this earlier as well. Don't be afraid to dogfight. Like I said, if you don't know how to dogfight, it's fine. Learn. If you need to go to air realistic to help out, but don't be afraid, man. Keep altitude. Focus on energy. I'm not gonna get too in depth into that. What I mean by energy is just like keep momentum. Stay up high. Retain your speed as much as you can. Learn what plane is a boom and zoom aircraft like the Americans are. Or learn what's a turn fighter like the Japanese, you know? Once you understand that, you'll be kicking ass. Plus, a lot of other CAS players, especially enemy teams, just want to bomb too, you know? They just want to have like their epic rush of dopamine. So if you just go in there and ruin them, guess what? If they miss their bombs, you shoot them down. That's one less player to worry about. They're back at the hangar. And tip number 10, coordinate with the ground. Keep an eye on your map. If you're in a squad, work together. See what's up. And see where you need it the most before you come in. They recently changed the map to where you can kind of eye where the ground targets are at. It'll help you identify like threats and where you can go bomb. And coordination, dude. If you can coordinate with the ground, you're good. And if you're on the ground too, and let's say like you see CAS is up, spot as many targets as you can. You don't know how much spotting helps out CAS players. So if someone has bombs, even if they just want to kamikaze and bomb, at least if they have a target like visible to them from the air, man, it's gonna help out a lot. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up the video. I'm pretty sure I left out some things or I forgot some things, but this should be enough to help you be better. Keep things into consideration when you spawn in. Take your time, know when to spawn in, understand your loadout, your plane, your belts, coordinate with the ground, do what you can, man. And if you're like a beginner, you want to get better, you can either go to arcade, go to realistic, practice dogfighting, or you can learn the hard way, practice here, you know. With that being said, I'm gonna catch you all later. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this was helpful. I know it was everywhere and I was talking a lot, but let me know what you all think. And I will catch you all next time. Right? Peace.